This is a BMW, but it's not just any BMW. As you can see with the grille, it's a BMW M3. But it's not just an M3, it's an M3 Competition, which means it's an even higher spec version of the M3. But I think what we like about it the most, it's an M3 Competition Touring, which means it's the ultimate driving machine with the ultimate in practicality, a station wagon. I think we like it already, but let's see how it does on the road. Driving the M3 Competition in xDrive touring spec is a special experience. It's such a nice compact car, and yet it has so much power. Under the hood is a 3-liter twin-turbo straight 6 with 510 horsepower and 650 Newton-meters of torque. Now, what does that mean when it comes to just driving? That means that this car, which is based on the 3 Series, mind you, which is quite a small car, is absolutely insane when you drive it. It's got so much power and so much torque that it just floors you. So it's a little bit of a Jekyll and Hyde situation here. You have, on one hand, with the click of a button, a nice, relaxed, more powerful 3 Series experience. Actually, when you floor it in this mode, it does take a while to take off. So when you click M1, which I have set to the most aggressive settings, drop it a gear, the moment you hit the gas, you're going much too fast for what normal roads can do here. So it's nice because it's supposed to be a practical car. It is a wagon after all. You have normal driving when you need it, and absolutely cruise missile performance when you want it. The essence of this car is its duality and its absolute customizability. Yes, you can customize this car to almost anything you want. Because when you think sports car, you don't think, hey, I want to take my family along and the luggage and go out of town, but this car can. In fact, on BMW's website, just because it's all-wheel drive, they have the car doing a hard launch on gravel, which is insane for an M3. So again, right now, normal driving, it's quite comfortable. We're going along at a decent clip, but find yourself an open road, hit the M1 button, which is right now set to put the car in most of its harder settings, drop it a few gears, and the car absolutely flies. Its 0 to 100 time is under 3.5 seconds, about 3.3 in independent testing. And its 0 to 200 time is about 12.5 seconds, which is ridiculous. This car is so planted and so well sprung that we drove it up to Tagaytay and we didn't get dizzy at all, even when the roads were absolute crap. The car's all-wheel drive system and its wide stance allow it to hug the road insanely good. In fact, it's so confidence building that even if the car scares you at first, when you start building up confidence, it just grips and grips and grips for days. Yes, you still need to concentrate when you're driving this car. It is a very fast car, but also the confidence it gives you, it builds up, just like the car's personality builds up with you as long as you drive it. I can see now why people love this car so much. And it's not just our bias for it being a wagon. It's genuinely a really good car. The car has so much grip with the all-wheel drive system. It sounds quite good. You just toss it in the corner. xDrive is all-wheel drive. You have power, power, power. And it just makes short little blasts all the more fun. Then, when you want it to calm down, click the button, go back to your regular drive mode, and now it's easy to drive, it's relaxing, it's refined, just like a BMW 3 Series Touring would be, or should be. So overall, how does it drive? It's really good. It sets the benchmark for what a sports touring wagon should be. Now, I know this won't matter to most who are considering an M3, but surprisingly, it's quite fuel efficient. With spirited driving in traffic and up and down Tagaytay and a little bit of S-Lex on the way, we average about 7 to 7.5 kilometers per liter. For a car with a twin-turbo 3-liter straight 6 and 510 horsepower with all-wheel drive, that's pretty good. So how is the car's 8-speed transmission? Well, in comfort mode, it's quiet, it's refined, you don't actually feel the shifts, and it shifts early. Put it in Sports Plus, however, and put it in sequential manual mode. 1, it allows you to rev up to the red line all the time, and 2, shifts become so fast that the power is completely uninterrupted. And it's fun to watch the world just like fly toward you as you shift up. Also a little bit scary, to be honest. Now that we're on the highway, we've noticed that the car does not have advanced driver assistance systems. In fact, the cruise control here is just a regular cruise control. There is no blind spot monitoring, and there's no lane keeping or lane centering available. We kind of wish the car had that, especially at this price point, but we also understand that a lot of people don't like the car interfering with their driving. And for a car like this, an M3, I kind of get their point. Then again, I also like the safety net of knowing that the car can see things that maybe you would miss. So now that you've seen how it drives, let's take a closer look at the interior of the BMW M3 Competition xDrive Touring. And it feels like a normal 3 Series in some ways, no? Don't think of it like such a bad thing, because a normal 3 Series is one of the best compact sedans you can buy today. The things that give it away are, 1, obviously, the orange seats. They're very nice, quite plush. They're electrically adjustable. You can move the seat forward, back, up and down. There's lumbar support, which for a sports seat is pretty good. And you can adjust how tight the bolsters are. With my size, it's normally tight, so I can at least loosen it for me. We find the shifter a little bit hard to use because you have to, when you first hold it, you think it's like your typical BMW electric shifter, but this one has to stay in specific positions to go into reverse, for example. And it takes a while to get used to, but that's easy enough once you own the car. Looking around, the steering wheel, weirdly, feels like just a normal BMW steering wheel. Honestly, the buttons are a bit plasticky, but you do have these 2 M buttons here, M1 and M2. What do? So you can set your engine, your chassis, your steering, your brake, your 4-wheel drive, your traction control. You can set it all here and program it into an M configuration. It's fun, but it's a bit overwhelming when you're going through it for the first time. The good thing is you can set it all to a button. Like here, it's set to M1. I just come while driving, hit the button M1, you see the M1 there. It just changes the car completely with a push of a button. And then let's say you're coming up to the toll gate, you want to like relax a little bit, just go back to your normal settings of comfort. So we find that yes, it can be intimidating to go through all the settings of the car, but once they're set, you just hit the button. Sporty, not sporty. Easy to use, easy to do. Honestly, one of our favorite features in the car. More or less, everything else is standard BMW fare. You have this massive screen here with your rev counter and your speed front and center. And sort of connected to that is the second screen here, which acts as your car setup screen as well as your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The Apple CarPlay, BMW's not really had the best track record with it, with the wireless CarPlay at least, and sometimes disconnects, sometimes there's problems connecting. It took us about 5 minutes to connect the phone the first time, but once it was connected, it was actually pretty good. Just have to keep in mind that wireless CarPlay will never be as reliable as wired CarPlay. You have your automatic wipers here, your automatic headlamps here, and you have your cruise control here on the steering wheel. We wish you weren't so reliant on the touchscreen, so all the settings for the aircon, for example, are all in the touchscreen. There are no physical buttons for the aircon. Thankfully, this part here does not go away, but let's say you want to change your air circulation from fresh air to recirculation. You have to go into the climate menu from your screen, then you have to click auto air circulation, and then you have to click air recirculation, which can be annoying, but that's the new BMW system. You do have your xDrive controller here, And the iDrive controller has at least shortcuts to certain functions that you might need. Plus, it allows you to rotate this, and it's something that we've been used to from BMWs for many years now. You have commonly used controls here, your traction control, your parking sensors, your auto start stop, your M mode, and your setup, and your exhaust. Exhaust is pretty fun because you can click it and the car gets quiet, and you can click it and the car gets noisy. Looking at the other parts of the interior, the leather is quite nice. The plastics, well, they're typical BMW plastics. I think they're solid, but still plastic. You do have some soft touch materials around the parts of the cabin. The roof lining is black, which is nice. It makes it a nice compact feel. And the sound system is quite good. It's a Harman Kardon sound system, and one of the better sound systems we've had in a sports car, really. So here you have your wireless charger, which kind of struggles with an iPhone 16 Pro Max won't fit in the wireless charger. Thankfully, you have a wired charger here with USB-A to C. Now, looking at the center console, there's your USB-C port, and it's not that deep, it's quite shallow. So yeah, basically it's a pretty good cockpit. It does feel quite snug until you realize it's a 500 plus horsepower sports car, and then you realize it's one of the most practical interiors you can get with this kind of performance. Let's go on to the back seat. Oh, so getting into the back seat, first thing you'll notice, I don't fit behind myself. I am 6'2" though, so that might be an explanation, or it could also be the fact that this seat is a sports seat and it's quite massive, no? What else is there to know about the back seat? Well, the back seat is pretty nice. It's your typical 3 Series back seat. You have your air conditioning here, some controls, and 2 USB-C ports. You have a center armrest here, and it does open into 2 cup holders. It's your regular 3 Series interior, which means it might not be the most posh, but it's still usable when driving around family members or friends. So now let's go through the exterior design of the M3. And the first thing that will be glaring at you is this, the nostrils. I mean, sorry, the BMW kidney grille. Now, actually in person, it's not that bad. And I think part of it goes to the fact that in the Philippines, we have the plate holder, which kind of bisects it up and down, so it doesn't look so glaringly obvious. But yeah, looks good in person. You have M3 Competition badges in the front, and you have regular headlights that act like normal BMW headlights. I think the hood design is quite cool. It accentuates the muscular stance of the car. What we don't like is that in the panel gaps, there's a little bit of metal that can be seen. I don't know if it's just because the car is white, but it could be a little bit neater for this price. Now, speaking of white, the car is two-tone. You can see it's got a black roof on top and black side mirrors and black side skirts and front skirt. I think it's really handsome. It looks quite good and has a very good contrast with the color that was chosen for the car. Going to the side of the BMW M3 Touring Competition xDrive, one or the other, you have these giant 19-inch mags out front and 20-inch staggered in the back. They're very big and they're very wide. The reason for that is the M3 actually has a bespoke chassis from the center of the chassis until the end, meaning that it's got a much more muscular and wider stance than the normal 3 Series. And it shows. You've got really big wings here, you've got a nice haunch here, and I guess it's accentuated by a very nice black side skirt here. The side skirt and the black roof help to minimize the profile of the car, and it looks quite good from the side. And now we go to the back, which is honestly our favorite part of the car. As you can see, it's a wagon. And we love station wagons because they drive like cars, they don't have the problems of ride height like SUVs, and you have the practicality of an SUV. In this case, it's got a split tailgate, so you have a glass top here, lets you get your stuff in and out of the car without having to open the boot. But if you do need to open the boot, it is electronic. And once you open the boot, you can fit a golf bag, completely standard, without putting the seats down. How many golf bags can you fit here? Maybe 2 bags, but you can easily drop the seats from the back here, and you can fit maybe 3 or 4 golf bags, no problem. Which is funny, because when you drop the seats, you only have 2 seats. Now, closing the boot. So you can see, it does look good. They have a little black spoiler here, which again, shortens the car, but that's combined with this very nice black diffuser and color-matched black quad exhaust pipes, which you heard while we drove a while ago. It's quite nice from the back. We like how wide it looks and how low it looks from any angle, but particularly from the back, then you know it's quite special of a car. And that's the M3 Competition xDrive Touring. Which brings us to the price. There's no easy way to say this. It's 10.59 million pesos, which means it's quite an expensive car. But let's go through some pros and cons to see if that price is worth it. Number one pro is it drives really well and it's got so much power. 0 to 100, they say 3.6. Independent testing has shown about 3.3, and it's just insane for a car that's this practical and this easy to use. So our first pro, so much power, you're gonna have a lot of fun. Our second pro, it's so practical. You've got a big boot, you've got a station wagon basically, which means you have the practicality of an SUV and the power and the handling experience of a sports car. Speaking of handling, that's our third pro. The handling is so good. It drives and it's so planted on the road. Its wide stance allows it to really grip the road. It might be a little scary for a first hour of driving, but after that you start getting confidence in the car and it's really, really, really good to drive. And it doesn't make you dizzy. Even if the suspension is set at sport, honestly, BMW's tuned it quite well, so it doesn't really bounce that much. Yes, it's firm, but as you're driving around, it actually absorbs the bumps on the road quite well. The last pro is that it's extremely customizable. So what do you want in a car? Do you want it very powerful, very aggressive, very in your face, I'm going to the racetrack today? Or do you want it a little bit more relaxed, slower shifting, automatic, smoother? With a click of a button, especially that M1 button, you can just jump between aggressive and non-aggressive easily. Unfortunately, that brings us to the first con, is that it's also extremely customizable. And the problem there is, there's just so many options. When you have the 4 engine settings, 4 transmission settings, 4 braking settings, 10 traction control settings, sometimes it's a bit too much. And honestly, the first time you go through the system, it's a little bit intimidating. Thankfully, once you set it all, one click, you're there. One click, you're back. So it's not really a con. It just might be something that might be overwhelming to the new owner. The second con is that it might drive a little jerky at times. But really, again, like I said, this is connected with the first con, is that you just have to set it properly. If you don't set it properly, it does feel very jerky on the brakes and on the gas because it's very aggressive. I think one of the things that really did stand out, however, is that the car lacks almost any form of ADAS, which means you have no front camera, you have no adaptive cruise control, you have no blind spot monitoring, and you don't have things we take for granted in other cars. We just wished at 10.6 million or thereabouts that the car would have something like that. But again, I think it's something that you can be forgiven when you have a car this powerful and this practical in one package. So that's the BMW M3 Competition xDrive Touring. How do we find it? Well, it's a blend of the ultimate driving machine and the ultimate practical machine. It's the best sporty car you can buy with a boot that big. And for that, we'd give it a 9.5 out of 10.